See how we did?
She did turn hers in, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
she emailed
I
me.
think she emailed, yeah. I was just gonna-
Yeah, I gotta get some back to her.
Okay.
I'll just scan them and send them to her with the comments on.
Okay, if that works for you, great.
All right, are we ready? I can't see you. All right, so you want a break? You want me to start at the back?
Yes,
Or you
please.
want to do it?
Oh, I'll do it.
She'll do it. She's brave. All right, let's see what you.
I-25.110,
Mm-hmm.
4A02398, B216, YZZ, B211, YZZ, 021109W, 06BQ3ZZ, 5A1221Z.
Okay, well, we're close. We're sadly a couple of digits in each one. Well, not all of them, but, so let's look. I have I-25.110, and then you should have a Y9302 for running. Remember how we talked about some of the external codes could be applied to show why a condition happened. So I think the example we always gave was shoveling snow for an MI. So this would be running for an MI. And then you want to code your bypass next, okay? And the reason for that is they're both related to the principal diagnosis. Remember, if you have two related to the principal diagnosis, it's the one for definitive rather than diagnostic. So the cardiac cath is diagnostic, and the bypass is definitive or is done to treat the problem, okay? So you're going to have your O21109W would be next. And then 06BQ0ZZ for the harvesting of the vein. And then 5A1221Z for the bypass, cardiopulmonary bypass. Then your cath would be 4A023N8. And then your angiography and arteriographies are B2161ZZ and B2111ZZ. Okay, are you okay there?
What were the last two, the arterial
B2161ZZ and B2111ZZ.
On the bypass machine, does it need to be up there at the top? or
No.
is-
I didn't change, I kept all my bypass together and all my heart cath together, but I only did that because I had 6 codes. So if I'd had more than 6, I probably would have put bypass, and then I probably would have put the cardiac cath, and then the codes as they fell. Okay, because those other ones, like getting the vein, that's really auxiliary to it, and the heart-lung machine, you know, so.
Fall in there anywhere.
But since there were only 6, and it takes 6 procedure codes, I didn't worry about it. Do we need to look at that one and see, was it the ones that you had 2 9s on? Which one that you missed because you had 2 9s? Or Ys? I think it were those B21 codes.
I don't know.
No. Okay. Well, if you want, we can look.
Okay.
All right, number 2.
I-25.10,
Uh-huh.
027034Z, 02703DZ, 02C03ZZ.
Correct. Okay. All right, so this one, our diagnosis is just the arteriosclerosis of a native artery. That's I-2510. You had 2 PTCAs, but one was done with a drug-eluting stent and one was done with non-drug-eluting, which means you need 2 codes. That's the 027034Z and the 02703DZ. And then you need that additional code for the atherectomy, which is 02CO3ZZ. Okay? Questions on that one?
The sequencing, is that critical or?
Well, what did you have
I had the
different?
atherectomy and then the drug-eluting and then the non-drug.
I don't think that matters. They're all 3 along the same lines. So I think that's fine. Okay, number 3.
I have I 13.0,
Uh-huh,
I 50.21,
uh-huh,
and N 18.3.
correct.
What
Okay.
was the first one?
I 13.0 is your hypertensive heart and renal disease. And then you have to use that additional code to show that the type of heart failure, which was I 50.21, that's acute congestive systolic heart failure. And then remember with pulmonary edema, if it's cardiogenic in nature, it's included in the heart failure codes. So you don't need that additional, J81.1. And then N18.3 is the code for the specific stage of kidney disease, stage 3. Number 4.
I have I 71.4, 04V, 03DZ,
Mhm.
and 02HW30Z.
Okay. I don't have the last one. I have a different one. So our first one is the abdominal aortic aneurysm. That codes out to I-71.4. And then we had to put in we repaired using a stent within the aneurysm. So that's 04V03DZ. In this case, they also put in that pressure sensor device. And if you look, there's an example of that one. Let's look in the circulatory. It's actually, let's see, where is that? Look on page 433. They give you an example of that very same scenario, only in the book they're putting it in the thoracic aorta. Okay? So they're inserting into the thoracic aorta and percutaneous. Notice how there it actually says monitoring device pressure sensor. When you get to the aorta, the abdominal aorta, it just says monitoring device. Doesn't say that pressure sensor. I don't know why you don't have that as a choice, but we don't. So that's insertion, abdominal aorta, percutaneous, and then you would have had the device value of 2, and then Z.
So what was the code? I'm sorry.
It's 04H032Z. So we're going to go insertion into the aorta. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to be abdominal. That's where you get your O4HO is under insertion device abdominal aorta. Okay, and then O4HO. Okay, then you're going to pick percutaneous, 3. It's a monitoring device, so that's 2, and then no qualifier. That's on page 201 in the PCS book.
What I did, I guess, is I went, because I did the O2H, which is the heart rate. That's
Okay, yeah. No, this is in the stomach, abdominal aorta.
okay. That's what I did then.
Okay, any other questions on page 1? Alright, page 2. Rebecca.
I have I 23.7 and I 21.4.
Correct. I-23.7 and I-21.4. And they're in that order because he's actually being admitted for the post-infarction angina. But that code tells you also have to use an I-21 code. And we are still within the 4-week time period for that to be an acute MI. So that's where you get your I-21.4. Remember, this was, you need to pay attention because non-transmural, even though I told you posterior wall, non-transmural always codes out to that I-21.4. even if you know the site, okay? You only code to the site if it's a STEMI, if it went all the way through. Okay, number 6.
I have I-48.1 and 02574ZZ.
And 8EOW4CZ.
What?
8EOW4CZ, robotic assisted.
Oh.
Otherwise, that's correct. The
What was the
persistent,
second one? I'm sorry.
I'll give you. Persistent atrial fib is I-48.1. Then you had the ablation, which is going to be destruction, right? Destruction of the left atrium is O257. Was done percutaneous endoscopy for ZZ. Okay, and then that robotic assisted you can actually find under robotic assisted trunk, I believe. AEOW4CZ. Okay, number 7. Everybody get all my emails?
I just printed out a whole new sheet.
Yeah.
Printed out the new sheet.
I have I-69.398
Uh-huh,
and H-53.483.
correct. Okay.
390.
I-69.398 is the, what is that? Infarction, sequela of cerebral infarction with visual defect, and then an additional code to show the tunnel vision. You used to be able to find tunnel vision, and now you gotta go to either localized visual defect or generalized contraction. So I made a guess because I didn't have my software with me and I guessed wrong. That's why I had to change it. So tunnel vision actually codes out to a constriction or contraction of the visual field. So that's why it's coded that way instead of peripheral defect.